Good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. Today, we'll be drinking another Belgian beer, another from the Living Beer collection. It is Augustijn Blonde. It's a 7% alcohol blonde beer from Belgium. It is brewed again by the Steenberg brewery. Kind of has a priesty-like guy there with a broom or something in his hand. Oh wait, no, it's like a paddle. He's stirring a pot. So I'm going with he's brewing Abbey beer, since this is Abbey beer and all that. Really interesting way of spelling Augustijn. I think it's pretty cool. It's got a cap for you to collect if you're a cap collector. So we'll try and savor. Oh yeah. Now, that was awesome. And that's what I'm used to seeing when you open a living beer. I was a little disappointed with the last one. When I open a Duvel, the same thing happens. You get all the smoke, you get the nice bubbly up at the top. That head just sitting there like that. Decided to pull out another retro glass. Today we were doing the Molson Export retro little glass. Again, because I don't have any tulips, I could use some chalices, but these will work just as well. Now the Augustijn headed up just from opening it, like I'm used to seeing for most of the living beers like Duvel and Chimay. But that head is dwindling a lot faster than what I'm used to. Let's pour her and see what happens here. Because with this chalice, you can actually hit the edge of the glass a lot easier. So, keep this here because we'll see how long the head lasts for. So it's going pretty good in there. It actually does give you the living beer head in there. I mean, that's the way the living beer head usually is. I mean, even if I poured right, I would have had a good deal of head in the glass just because of what it is. You can see there's large gaps in the head. That's the awesomeness of these Belgian beers. I've always loved the really thick head you get off of them. Beer's a nice gold color. It is opaque, almost looking unfiltered. It's a nice looking beer. Again, as I said earlier, the head is not lasting as long as a Duvel or a Chimay head would last, but it's still a very nice head in this glass. You can see, even with the head fading, you're still getting lacing on the cup. You're still getting some high and low points in the head. Oh yeah. It's a really nice smelling beer. Again, just like with most of these living beers, you get a lot of yeast on the nose. The air hitting it is just bringing that yeast out. There's a very sweet scent on the background. Quite a lot like a fruity scent, but again, the yeast is what you're getting the most of. Again, with most of these Abbey beers that I've ever drank from Belgium, there's not really much hops on there. Sometimes you'll get it on the taste, but on the nose you don't usually really get it. It's kind of dry. If you drink blondes from Belgium, it's not really like a Flegum or Lef or any of the other major brands. It kind of stands on its own. It's a lot more yeasty than the major brand blondes. It's a lot sweeter than the major brand blondes. I'm curious how it's going to taste. I'm kind of sad watching that cup as the head has faded faster than I expected. But you even see in this cup that the head doesn't ever really fully go away. It's still there. If I hold the cup up like this and tilt it back, the head clings to the glass and slowly starts coming down. And I mean, that's the one thing I love about these Abbey beers is the awesomeness of the head. It's actually a really good beer too. It actually is reminiscent of the more readily available beers here, the Affligums and the Lefts. It's, to me, slightly better actually. It's a dry taste. It goes down very smooth. It doesn't really fill your mouth. It doesn't leave a creamy feel or anything like that, but it goes down very nicely, very smooth, very dry. It's very yeasty. If you've ever stuck a spoon into, well, if you've ever made dough and ate it before it's fully set, it's a lot like that. It's a very sweet dough-like taste, though. There's a tiny hint of bitterness on the finish. Finish doesn't last very long either. I mean, I drink it, I get that sweet yeasty feel at the beginning. I swallow it, I get this tiny hint of bitterness, and then it's pretty much gone. So it's a fairly clean beer too. You could probably drink this for quite some time because it doesn't really affect you. 7% alcohol, so it's not that bad. It's stronger than most of the things that you'll normally get around here. Oh, the yeast. Ooh. I love it. I'd have to say a 7.5 out of 10. I would love to give it an 8 or an 8.5 because I do find it a little bit better than Lef or a Affligum. But unfortunately, because I cannot get my hands on it all the time, I'm going to give it a slightly lower rating.